This is the first year that I've sort of been fully retired. I retired in January. It's been a fantastic year. You know, I've been to some wonderful places, rode my bike in some wonderful places, you know, starting in Lanzarote in January, which was great to be with some of the pros sort of out there and just living the dream a little bit, you know, with them, and, you know, sort of cycling and finding a little bit about how they do things and, you know, their sort of methodology behind training. Some were sort of doing 40 hours a week, some were doing 15 hours a week. It's, you know, so it was great just to have a better understanding of, and it's the first time I'd been to Lanzarote as well and ridden there, and it was a great place to ride and I really enjoyed it. And then we went into the season sort of with the British Championships, which we were disappointed with, but it was really early. The Duathlon English Championships, which I came third, which was a little bit better performance. And then Clumber Park, where I had the issue with my gears, but again, I was happy with the performance after, you know, I think I was fastest on the run there. So again, I did feel the fitness was building going into Romania. I think I was really disappointed with Romania, on the standard particularly, but finishing fifth, which was my first sort of top 5 finish in a World European Championship, major World Championship. So sort of the build up to that, where we went to St Moritz, riding in the mountains in Switzerland, France, and you know, it was just that was just amazing. Going to Austria, going to Lake Fuzel, where, you know, in the Hotel Jacob, which is a fantastic sort of hotel in the just outside of the lake near the Red Bull headquarters. Just a riding around Austria was amazing, and then driving from Austria to Romania, going across, I don't know, 5 or 6 countries, and then getting to Romania, which was again riding in Romania, which was like the Wild West. You know, anybody who was there knows what I'm talking about. It was just a crazy place. You know, to say that you're still in Europe is just amazing. But disappointed with that performance, even though I came 5th, coming off the first run 2nd, and holding sort of the top 3 places till the 4th or 5th lap of that race, and you know, felt like there was something missing. And then the sprint race, sort of doing an extra lap, even though I felt feeling great after racing again 48 hours after the standard. So that was great, but felt really strong on the bike, even though I did an extra lap. I think I still finished about 10th or something ridiculous. That was great, really enjoyed that. And then we built up to the Europeans, went out to Denia, rode around Calpe and all then in the middle of Spain. Went to the Cenefera Hotel, which was a great experience at altitude. That was fantastic, you know, really enjoyed that. Then there was a quick turnaround to home, 4 days. I were only back for 4 days. And then we set off to Bilbao, which again I took to the 5 finishes, 4th and 5th place finishes again. So that's 3 major championship top 5 finishes in the year, which, you know, I've only been doing this two and a half years. So to actually get to that level in that short space of time, I think there's a lot more to come next year if I continue the training regime that I'm doing. The riding in St Moritz, I think, was a massive highlight. Even representing GB, you know, if you look at a year, you know, Alvils was only, you know, in November of 2021. So I've sort of done 3 sort of major championships, sort of representing GB. You know, you forget now that's for me, that was one of the major goals when I got into this, was to represent GB. And now I know now it's to podium and win a championship, but still you've got to look back and think, well, where did you start the journey, and what did you think, you know, what you wanted to do? And that was one of the top things on my list, was to represent GB. But yeah, some of the cycling, I think the cycling as a whole, cycling outside, I predominantly cycled on the turbo. If you've watched the videos before, I mean, there's been a lot of turbo riding over the last 2.5 years, but definitely the last sort of 6 months has been predominantly riding outside. And I think that is probably the highlight. Some of the places I've ridden in, some of the places, you know, I've probably ridden in 10, 15 countries or something ridiculous. I don't even know how many, I need to count, but I've ridden in most of the European countries now. you know, over the last few years, and particularly in this last sort of 6 or 7 months. So I think that's the highlight really, is actually being out on my bike and riding my bike and seeing all these fantastic things.